halfway through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the media lady's like, I've gone back through 365 days and collated your audience of reels. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. She's like, yeah, and there was hundreds of thousands of individual viewers.
Oh, really?
And I was like, whoa,
That's
okay,
sick.
that's fucking cool. So, yeah, that's how created our audience.
Sick.
So, if you've ever watched a reel of ours,
You're in.
ads are coming. The ads are coming.
Good one, sir.
I'm sad you took your hat off because I was like, that was going to be
I can't.
It's going to be my Bant's intro.
Oh, we can. I'll put it. Hang on. I'll put it back on. I'll put it on and I'll take it off because I'm going to start sweating. Right.
All right, so the boys
There
need
we go.
haircuts now. You can take it off. If you ever see
it's
either of
acting
us,
as a sweatband at the moment.
if you either see either of us wearing a hat on the pod,
I got to start wearing more of my hats though. I've got way too many.
there's a good chance we need haircuts.
Yeah. But I'm trying to bring the hats back.
Yeah?
Fashion.
Is it cool again?
Oh, I don't feel like it was never cool.
I feel like I just wrote it through. No, because they've gone
Nah,
to that like
style of hats.
I don't
the style
like
of hats
the
have
new
changed.
vibe.
What are they called? Like
Lame.
yeah, they're real soft. Like the
Yeah.
top's real soft. Well,
Yeah.
they're called something. They call is it? I don't. It's probably not called like a dad hat. Oh, maybe it is.
But they were dad hats and now they're not again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's not it.
Yeah, it's kind of. I reckon it's still dad hat ish.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
definitely dad hat. Like, look at that. That's dad.
yeah,
hat.
it's
Yeah.
what it is. Show the camera.
Yeah.
I mean.
It's dad hat. Style.
I
That's. I don't have the head for that.
think
Like,
I'm excited for like, so obviously the 90s are back, right? But it's right now it's like
the
early
90s are back,
90s.
minus the music.
Yeah, the music.
Outside the rap was good. Rap was good. And the metal. We've had this conversation.
Yeah,
Metal.
Oh, I thought
the
you were
rap.
saying like the music's not good now, and it was then. Mainstream 90s was shit.
Mainstream 90s was
But
one of the
the
worst
90s was
eras of
about
music.
not being mainstream. So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, anyway.
But like if you know like what was that fucking CD that everyone used to buy? Like it had like
100% hits.
yeah. So
Yeah.
the 90s. Let's say you
Yeah, they
packaged
suck.
100%
Yeah.
hits 90s
Mbop.
series. Fucking awful.
Track number 1.
Yeah.
100% hits 95. Mbop. Fuck
Yeah.
me.
Horrible.
There's people listening
Horrible.
to this that weren't born yet.
Yeah.
Ouch. Go and get 100% hits 1995.
Yeah. Was it Wild? Like what were the other ones called?
Wild
Yeah.
was like the dance track
Mm.
one.
Yeah. I don't feel
Um,
like dance music was that popular.
and
in the
then they
90s, or maybe I was
did
just too young.
Pepsi. It's like the Pepsi 100 or something like
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
The old double disc. I remember one of the Pepsi albums had
Can't do it.
Beautiful People on it by Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
And then it was followed by another heavy song. I can't remember what it was. Might have even been Rob Zombie or something. And it was just like fucking those two songs were just looped in my bedroom. Just like, I was a metalhead.
That's when you
from
could buy a
young age.
single. You remember that? You like the
Yep.
song that much that you just buy the
Yep.
CD for that song. And-
Green Day Minority was my
Hilarious.
first single ever.
Yeah. What mine was It's Like That by Run DMC.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So you're better than that. Moving on.
Hey, that was a good song.
But yeah, I hope that we transition to like later 90s. I was saying to Tam the other day, like obviously you've embraced this t-shirt tuck.
Yeah. Some people can embrace the t-shirt tuck for different reasons. So the t-shirt tuck's never been a thing, right? But when you have a fucking massive ass
Yeah.
and you're short
Yeah.
and you wear a
I have both of
t-shirt,
those things.
yeah, you look fat.
Okay.
Yeah, when your
Thanks,
t-shirt
Jess.
actually, well, like I know because I'm not the tallest person,
Yeah.
and I have a fucking massive ass as
Okay.
well.
Okay.
So when you tuck your t-shirt, you then kind of it shows
Narrows you in.
shows the X frame.
Yeah, got it.
Isn't that the goal?
Look, I understand,
Mm.
but as I was saying to Tam in the gym the other day, I was like post shirt tucked in thing.
What do you mean?
Like that was really uncool when I was
Oh,
when I started caring about things that were cool. That was already on the other side of it. So it's like I can't. It's not like an old cool thing that's come back in for me. It's an
you just
old
never got to
lame
do it.
thing that's back, and it's like. So like the corduroy pants thing, I remember like wearing them and people being like, "Yeah, no, you can't wear them." And I
Yeah.
was like, "Dad, what the fuck?" It's your
corduroy
fault."
pants.
Yeah.
I
But
got
that was early 90s.
corduroy shorts. My mate had an outfit, corduroy shirt, corduroy shorts, and I was like,
Wowzers.
it's pretty gangster.
Yeah.
No, it was pretty gangster. It was
Yeah.
good.
Have seen
It was
in
very
such.
very suave.
Yeah, I have seen such fits in glue, I believe.
But I don't know about the
the
pants.
jacket. I'll wear a cord jacket.
Corduroy, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we spoke about that already. Yeah. I think I'm down for that.
But yeah, I'm hoping I want FUBU suits to come back, to be honest. Not that I ever wore one, but that's the era.
Oh, no. That was just an era of my life I don't want to remember. It's just rat bag Jason.
Yeah. Well, we all were.
Just like,
It was rat bag era.
yeah, what were we? I was 15, so you would have been 12.
Yeah, I guess that
13.
makes it the noughties, hey. That's not the 90s.
So, yeah, it's fucking proper rat bag.
Fox hats, Fox Echo. What else was I wearing at that time? Probably not much. Just that.
Yeah.
Wayne Ritchie skis, Ed Shepparton shout outs.
That's the Aussie combo right there.
That's country living, bro. Country living.
Fox. Fuck. I think I had to laugh about
Bright
that.
yellow, bro. Bright yellow Fox
isn't that
hat.
motorcycle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motorcycle and BMX
off-road
gear.
motor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not superbike stuff.
No.
Not cool enough.
But yeah, I hope remember those green shoes that I had?
Hey, speaking of, sorry, go.
The fluoro Nikes that I had, the high top basketball shoes.
I do.
I'd like for those, that kind of thing to come back.
So speaking of motorbikes, this is totally off the cuff, but
Midlife crisis is
when
coming. He's excited about motorbikes.
I'm buying a jet ski. So I stumbled across the new Mission Possible 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's called I don't know what it's called. Anyway, there's a stunt in it where Tom Cruise rides a motorbike off a cliff, in Norway. This cliff's huge, bro.
Yeah.
So he had to learn how to skydive, learn how to ride a motorbike, and then obviously learn how to jump it, and then had to do the stunt. And he had to jump off the cliff out of a helicopter as well.
Yep.
So apparently he did 500 skydives. He did 13,000 motocross jumps. And then they apparently spent 3 months building this ramp on this cliff in Norway, all these engineers and shit. So he jumps out of the helicopter to just work out when to pull the chute and stuff. And then they do the jump. So he rides this motorbike and just gets to the top of it and then just lets go of the handles and just tips forward.
Yeah.
They did it 6 more times. So wasted obviously the motorbikes. Yeah. But they got the perfect shot the first time. And then
no way.
yeah, so he was
They used the first take.
but they were let's do it again.
Yeah.
How many people would do that? And how many people would just
He's a
get
freak,
someone-
man. He's a freak.
He's in his 50s,
Yeah,
isn't he? or
I
something?
dislike-
He's an absolute weapon.
I dislike when we kind of shit on people for being outside of the thing that they're good at.
Yeah.
It's Tom Cruise is a fucking weirdo. Of course he is. Of course he is.
It was incredible.
Anyone who is the best in the world at what they do is weird.
Yeah. Yeah, and the one of the guys was explaining the stunt, and he's if the bike gets tangled up with him, he's dead.
It's over. Yeah.
So they were just sitting there with their hands, they're all watching on the screen, and they're just sitting there
Yeah.
and it was just
please don't
when he pulls the chute, it's it's all good.
Have you seen him break his foot?
Nah,
That video?
I haven't.
He has to jump across 2 buildings. And he
Right.
misses.
Oof.
He smashes his ankle and shatters it.
Oh,
And then runs
what a weapon!
for the shot.
Yeah, that's dedication.
Yeah, I think it was
pretty
6
awesome.
6 week off shooting or something.
Yeah, so I caught that.
Even hanging onto the airplane and shit
yeah,
he did
That's
that,
incredible. Anyone that does stunts, all those
themselves.
stunts and stuff.
Yeah.
Even John Wick, don't get me wrong, John Wick's over the top, and it's not an in-depth plot and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just learning the close quarter combat.
Yeah.
You have to learn close quarter combat to be able to do those scenes. And
Speaking of great plots,
so cool.
I watched the final. Is it F9? It's not the final. They're still going to make more. The latest Fast and Furious.
Oh,
Fuck me!
Isn't that a waste of
It's
your time?
so bad, man.
They are now just dead time.
The worst thing is I watched it.
Yeah.
I was watching it going, this is so bad.
Were you playing on your phone at the same time?
I wonder how... Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so. I wonder how many people have watched this on purpose
Mm.
and not thought, this is so stupid.
Yeah, there's been a few movies like that lately. It's a couple of the new Marvel ones. I've been to the movies and I'm
Yeah,
fuck,
Thor
man,
sucked.
I paid money to watch this shit.
Thor sucks so much.
Yeah, yeah.
So much.
Yeah, it's awful. Yeah, it's like they've done the reverse. Like, didn't go with the audience. Like, went back to the younger audience. It's like they've failed.
Yeah.
Or maybe young kids like it.
I don't know. I think it just went a bit Hollywood, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Bit California culture, which wasn't appealing to a 33-year-old meathead who wanted to see Thor smash shit.
They obviously just purposely didn't write the movie for us.
Yeah.
It's okay. John Wick come out. He kill everyone. All good.
Yeah. You can watch Man Smash later.
He bad guy. He dead.
That was the only disappointing thing, was Christian Bale was so fucking good in it.
Yeah.
It was such a waste.
Mm. Hello and welcome to the STCfit Learning Podcast. I'll be your host today. My name is Jason Galea and I'll be joined by Ben Scott. Thanks for joining us on our way to creating 1 million positive outcomes in personal training by 2030. The podcast is brought to you by STCfit Learning's Coaches Collective, a premium business mentoring service for PTs who want to attract the clients they want, earn a higher income, and have a long, sustainable fitness career. If you enjoy the episode, please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcasting platform. A 5-star review goes a long way to helping us reach more people just like you. Hope you enjoyed the episode.
All right. So this podcast could be the one that saves your career.
Ooh, strapping in.
It's going to be, could be the episode that changes your ability to sustain a long-term career in fitness. You could be able to build, if you don't already have a full client book, if you have a full client book, allow you to start working with people that you want to work with, getting better results for them, and actually hopefully making more money in less time. We're going to do that in the next 60 minutes. Let's fucking go.
This guy's lying.
Let's fucking go.
Can't.
Or it could just be a reasonably entertaining hour for you to listen to while you do steps or something. It could go either way. So we have just updated our business scorecard. And it now comes with a 12-page handbook, guide, report. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. 12-page report filling you in on how to go and improve the stuff that may pop up in the scorecard. So I thought it'd be interesting today to go through each topic that we cover and maybe just have a chat about it, even just from personal experience, more so like, because everything we do and teach is because we did it wrong first.
Yeah.
And then we learnt it and was like, oh, actually, this is really valuable. Everyone should do this.
And now we do it now, and it's good.
And it works really good. And we've taught lots of other people to do it, and it worked again.
So we don't teach people to do stuff we haven't done. Just going to leave that
there. I read this in a book.
Someone told me this, so I'm telling you this.
Yeah, but I think it'd be interesting to go through that lens of just like where we were in our careers when we started applying these things individually. A lot of them will be around the same time, but even just like insights as to how it changed.
Ben's going to say he did it first.
Whatever. Always. Whatever. So the first topic within it is mentality. So we had to change it from mindset because it was pissing us off.
Because it made me want to go to sleep.
So actually, there you go. First one is Jason. You introduced us formally to this concept because you read the book first.
Yes, I did actually.
Carol Dweck's Mindset.
Yeah, that was crazy. I didn't even
Of
remember.
all the people that were in the team at that time,
I know.
Jason came out with the growth mindset introduction.
It was. I think our team was expanding and we were, I don't know if I was being forced into a position of leadership or moving into one or a combination of both.
Not by me, guys, by a circumstance.
Yeah. Felt the need to obviously reflect on some of the things that I would need to possess to be a better leader or to be one. It's like being a leader is hard. I think it's still something kind of kind of go back and forth on and wrestle with. So yeah, I saw a book on a holiday in a bookshop because I think that's probably, if you're going to get me to get a book, like a tangible book, it's like the bookshop and they know that's why they're there.
Yeah.
That's why they're there. It's like, you got a lot of time to kill. You got good intentions. Yeah, your mind is twisted.
Yeah.
You're going to buy this book and read it probably, first 20 pages and never see it again. And then, like I kind of just opened the book and, I started to read the book through the lens of so it's Carol Dweck's mindset book, but read the book and kind of start to think about like how it's going to help me and how it could help us in the future. There was obviously, the book goes into certain circumstances where like these mindsets exist and, how you can kind of fall into these pitfalls and how you can gravitate yourself out of them as well. And I think that, I kind of came back and I was like, I feel like everyone really needs to know this, especially because we exist in a realm of fitness entrepreneurship as much as we don't like to talk about it. It's small business. That's what it is.
Yeah. And
there's a lot of times when you have to sit back and go, how am I going to navigate my way out of this?
Yeah.
And the growth mindset is one of those really compelling factors to navigate yourself out of this, because you have to sit back and go, right, I have the capability to do this if I do this and I do this and I do this and I do that.
Yeah.
And that's one of those elements that the book kind of tells you, where like if you sit there and it's like, I can't see myself doing this. It's too hard. It's, I've got to do all of these steps to kind of get to the other side. I haven't really kind of met anybody who possesses characteristics like that has actually made it as a personal trainer or a fitness business.
It's interesting, like obviously seeing a lot of these scorecards come through, and everyone that comes through the standout kind of process does it on the way in. It's always gets like scored really high.
Yeah.
And everyone's always got an ownership mindset and a growth mindset. They always tick real high within that. And then you get in the consult with them and you're like, cool, so what's your online presence like? And they're like, I'm not good on video. I'm like not confident on Reels, or I'm not ready to take online clients, or I'm not good at sales, or it's like, you ticked this box over here. All of those things suggest the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, to put it in a nutshell, if you're currently saying things like that, you're putting limitations on your own ability based on where you are right now, that's going to be a problem for your long-term growth.
Yeah, and just avoiding things because they're hard.
Yeah.
And then not having any kind of, structured planning to kind of gravitate you forward. Yeah. It's like, that needs to be checked.
Yeah.
And looked at.
Yeah, it's a willingness to be shit. That's something.
It's a willingness to improve at the expense of not being great at something at the start.
Yeah, for sure. So I think as we grow within business, and I know for ourselves, like we didn't really have that many people to go to and learn from. It was always, you always sucked at the start. Like it was just like, well, I guess we'll try this, we'll get good at it, and if it works, we'll keep doing it. If it doesn't, we won't. Yeah. And it was always like, okay, is this a quality thing, or is this a execution thing, or is this does it actually not work? Yeah. I think we've done that well over time. It's like, keep doing something until we believe it's of a high quality and a good standard. Okay, is it working? No, it's not. Yeah. Get rid of it. Rather than like a lot of people like they apply that to like the health club personal trainer who is worried about putting out content because it's not great yet. It's like, we'll just keep doing it until it's good. But what happens is they do their first 3, don't sign 3 clients, so they stop. Yeah. It's like, well, are they quality yet? Are they good enough yet when you compare them to everybody else?
Yeah. But they don't have to be as good as the people that they're working with at the time.
I agree.
As well.
Yeah.
It's a way for people who do have that mindset just to kind of move through that.
To start, yeah. 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 It's weird. I think I would set way too high expectations, but I think I can leverage a growth mindset to not be upset that I'm not there most of the time. Yeah. So like I watch James Smith and I'm like, my reels need to be that good. Yeah. And that's the standard I need to get to. Like he's, in my opinion, number 1 with content creation. So it's like I have to get to that. But the growth mindset allows you to not hate yourself for not being there yet.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I think, like, I don't know, if you just look at yeah, that's good. And then I think if you can reflect and stuff and just go, right, like, look at the way we used to, like, for some reason, there's like a post that's getting traction again from like 5 years ago, a hip thrust video. Yeah, it's weird. On Facebook.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was like, just looking at it from that to now, what we would do. It's like, puts in perspective, you know, like just how far we've gone and from that point. And it's good. We're obviously trying to get better.
Yeah.
But you don't want to put that pressure on yourself that you are you need to get better that hard that it actually retracts from your ability to grow,
doing it. Yeah.
to actually get better.
Yeah.
You know, because that can be something that happens too, just with the pressure of like running a business and knowing there's, you know, probably some things that you could always be doing.
Yeah.
You know, and you can always do better, but it's like, you know, at some point you've got to just sit back and go, okay, I've improved up to this point.
Yeah.
I've gotten better at everything, and I have become a better business owner, trainer, whatever. And I still have this like really distinct kind of direction that I'm moving towards.
Yeah. Put the 6 iron down. Take the driver off the tee. That's the take-home message.
Fuck that. Sorry, yeah. 6 iron, no way.
Yeah, always driver.
Always.
So next one is about, I mentioned the extreme ownership. So similar story, similar time frame. Jocko Willink's book, Extreme Ownership, was what introduced us to this concept. I listened to it on audiobook. I recommend you do the same. Mindsets on audiobook as well.
Yeah, audiobook's great. You can speed the
zoom it up,
cadence up, and
you
know.
And Jocko's voice is obviously
entertaining.
Yeah, nice to listen to. So yeah, basically being in a position where, similar to Jace, it was like, okay, taking on the MD initials. It's like, it's time to actually, that means for me, the buck stops at me. So if something doesn't work down the chain, it always goes all the way up. And that was, part of that was like, okay, well, how do I deal with that? How do I stop being frustrated with underperformance or lack of progress or anything like that somewhere else? And ultimately, even with like results for clients and results for the mentees we're working with and now standout and stuff, it's like, well, if they're not getting results, ultimately that's on me. How do I find a way to do that? And I think that really changed relationships with clients a lot. Like, we have people come in standout a lot, and it's like, oh, the client doesn't fucking do this, the client fucking doesn't do that. And it's like, okay, with this, growth mindset takes away the judgment. It's like, I just need to get better at this somehow. But the ownership takes away the blame from the client, that actually takes away the frustration then. Because it's like, oh, they're not fucking following their nutrition plan. It's like, well, the nutrition plan's probably not right. How do I find the one that works? And you stop being frustrated at them for not doing it and start looking for solutions and collabing with them to find the answer that you need. It's a really drastic mindset shift. And then talking about like that social media thing, like you put up 3 posts and then stop. Taking the ownership of it's not, reels don't work because someone else out there's getting success from reels. So reels work.
Yep.
What are you doing wrong, and how do you take responsibility to make them better? And you see the biggest warning sign, the biggest like red flag that I see of this is like the personal training is expensive, but posts. Yeah, it's like, oh, but you can afford expensive
go out on the weekend,
breakfast or alcohol or blah blah blah. It's like you're just fucking deflecting. The way I explain it is, imagine that like Adidas came out and just said, nah, you're all just spending money on food. No one likes shoes anymore. And Nike hitting like record profits next to them. It's like they're buying coaching somewhere. Yeah. There's coaches that are putting on clients. So if it's not with you, it's not the client's fault. Yep. Create more value.
And that's not going to make someone, you know, we've spoken about this in the past. Like, that's not all of a sudden going to make someone go, oh, I'm just magically going to sign up with this person. Yeah. Thank you. I've seen the light. You know, thank you for putting me down like that. Calling me out. That's exactly what I needed to work with you.
Yeah. And what a red flag to like, as a client, to want to work with that person too.
Yeah.
Like, if that's your response to people saying no to paying you, what's the response going to be like to a bad check-in, to a non-adherent week, to like a whatever? Like, it's just such a fucking whoop whoop.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not for it.
Yeah.
Stop doing that shit.
Yeah. So take ownership of your shit.
Yeah.
The catchphrase that we use is whether it's your fault or not, it's still your responsibility.
Yeah.
So if you've blamed lockdowns, if you've blamed the gym manager, if you've blamed the client, if you've blamed whatever circumstance, you need this because it's not going to work long term.
Yeah, it's on you. It's got to be.
Yeah, because you can sit back and it's really easy to sit back and blame everything else.
100%.
But it doesn't get
doesn't actually fix the problem.
Yeah, it might make you feel better, but
temporarily it might. But the bigger problem, it's still there. The
Yeah.
problem's still there. You got to face it at some point.
Outcomes don't care about your feelings.
Yeah, 100%.
So you've got to find a way. It's still your responsibility, whether the circumstances out of your control or not. It's your responsibility to find a way around it.
Yeah, yeah. And the more times you can put yourself in situations and use that mindset to get you through it, the more likely you're going to make it. Yeah. Yeah, because if you look at the people, like, draw a line through, all of the people we've worked with and the trainers that we've had that are successful, it's like they didn't just like magically have a good ride.
Yeah.
It's like they can just push through the shit that's hard and they take responsibility for as much of the stuff as they can. Like, we don't want you guys like just taking like responsibility for absolutely everything. Yeah. It's just like whatever you're supposed to take responsibility for, you actually do it.
Yeah.
You don't mask that responsibility by deflecting to something else or someone else. Yeah. So that's what we want you guys to do.
Yeah, and it's a good example of this is one of our girls in the mentorship at the moment. Coming into Christmas, standard things are slowing down, gym's quiet, hard to get people on the phone, relying on gym leads. We know gym leads don't close at a very high rate. And I sort of just said to her, I'm like, there's two options here, and there's two successful approaches that I see. And they both come with different levels of anxiety and trade-off. One is you work at the same output week in, week out, every single week of the year. And average over time, you'll have time where you're highly rewarded for that, and you'll have time where you feel like you get nowhere.
Yeah.
That's one option. The other option is you set your metric at an outcome, which means when it's quiet, you have to work harder. And when it's busy, you can take your foot off a little bit.
Yeah.
But your outcome is the metric.
Yeah.
To her credit, she was like, I don't care. Outcome's the metric. And pushed really hard. And unfortunately, was probably still coming up short to what we expected and what she wanted through that December Christmas period. Kept pushing, has put on, I think, seven sessions in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and that's not an accident.
No.
That's not the 2 weeks. It's a combination of
all of
everything
that
that's moved up to that point.
Yeah. And then you get that little break of momentum and
lose it again.
Super, super easy to actually continue it now.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, once she's broken that wall now of
but once you stop,
yeah.
So start pushing that ball again.
Definitely. Yeah. So that's a really good example of just taking responsibilities. Like you can step back and go, oh, well, it's December, no one's in the gym, I'll just fuck off. Yeah. And it's like, or you put the work in and then you end up rewarded at some point.
Yeah, well, it's the whole, start Monday kind of thing too. It's like fucking just start now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why start in 4 days?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's up, guys? You're listening to the STCfit Learning Podcast, brought to you by ourselves. Feel free to go check out our website, so stcfitlearning.com. On there, we have a bunch of free resources, including how to niche your business, how to actually sell during consults, and a free programming template, plus our business scorecard, which you can go and take and see how you stack up in the industry based on what we think is elite and how to become the best trainer in your gym, in your town, and in the industry. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you take a screenshot and tag us, we really, really appreciate it. It really helps get this message out to help improve our industry and keep people in their personal training careers. Enjoy the app. So, the other two that are in the mentality quiz are having clear and set goals and knowing your values, and then ultimately having your goals attributed to your values. So I think I got values actually from my psychologist at some point.
That was the lady we did the workshop with.
Yeah.
Can't remember her name. Lovely lady, just can't remember her name, unfortunately.
Mel.
Yep, that's the one.
Dr. Mel something.
Yep.
There's a podcast episode deep if you want to go find it.
Fine.
Yeah, I forgot we did it on the podcast because I actually did it with her in a session first. And I was like,
we did a Zoom thing with all of our
because it was in lockdown.
Coaches and all of our members.
How to deal with change because it was lockdown times.
Yeah. That was really good.
So for me at that stage, I was having a lot of trouble with like
the mind room, right?
Yeah. Oh. Not getting trapped in identity stuff. So like, am I an athlete? I think at the time I was having trouble. I was competing and we were trying to build the business. Like this is pre-lockdown, so we were at peak size in terms of team and all that sort of shit. And I was sort of like, I lacked the ability to put all my energy and efforts into powerlifting.
Sorry, Shadow. Just not happy about that.
To focus on that and be the athlete, but then also show up and do the work thing, but also show up and be a partner, and also like I couldn't spread myself and just wear different hats at different time. I was just like one thing. So it was like work's on pause because I'm competing. And then I'm not competing anymore, so work's 100%.
You're the powerlifter then.
Yeah, now I'm only training 3 days a week because I'm the CEO or whatever again. That was what I was dealing with. So the values thing was just like a pathway to be like, okay, what's overall actually important?
Yeah.
And then what are life goals that are attached to that? But it's amazing how many people come through and don't know what they're doing or aiming for in their careers within PT.
Yeah, the goals are something that not many people set. I feel like in fear of not achieving them, and I know because I used to do it, still do it sometimes. And then in my opinion, obtaining awareness of your values makes you do the things you're supposed to do, even when it's hard.
Yeah.
If I was to summarize like the benefit and the value that I've gotten from it, it's like that's, or if I'm not putting a lot of things in this pot, I've identified that I'm probably putting more things in these other pots that actually exist now, rather than just being the bodybuilder and the business dude. And it's like, and not actually thinking about Jason as the husband, the friend, the dude that enjoys a lot of expensive hobbies. You can just really get caught up here. And I think like I probably burnt out a fair bit just doing the bodybuilding and doing the work thing. Yeah. And I never really kind of gave a lot to the rest of the stuff. And now I'm like, I go out with my friends and, Steph and I'll do things that I was like, no, I've got to eat more meals and I've got to do all this stuff. And it's like, oh, hang on a minute. You actually value, fun, and you value travel, and you value experiences, and you still value personal growth and development and success and those kind of things. Yeah. But sometimes when like things aren't hitting now, you can go, well, what am I missing? And it's like, oh, I'm not doing that.
People will talk about balance and use the word like burnout and all that kind of shit. And it's like, balance is this weird arbitrary thing in an attempt, I think, to explain this. Yeah. So it's also, there's so many just so many people have just taken words and created negative connotations in my mind, but the words themselves are actually great. Like alignment. It's like when someone says alignment, I'm like, swipe, abort. Yeah. But that's what it is.
Someone like sitting like this,
it's like for some reason, if you are behaving in a way that is in alignment with your values, you will feel fulfilled. Yeah. And that may not look like balance to other people, but it's doing the thing that fulfills you at the end of the week. And then
I think you can act in alignment with a value as well, though.
I agree.
Yeah, like one.
Yeah.
For a period of time.
And it's knowing the values and what level they need to be expressed that actually allows you to feel fulfilled. Because it's like, I still work more than I train, and I still work more often than I am present as a husband. Like that's still the thing. Yeah. But I'm fulfilled doing it.
Yeah, you don't. It's not like,
But I
you go on
haven't.
holidays every week.
Yeah, I haven't neglected the relationship. I haven't neglected training. I haven't neglected playing golf or whatever. Like, there's still enough of it there.
I think there's times for everything though.
Yeah, I agree.
Last 2-3 weeks, like it was probably more relationship stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spent a lot of time with my wife and a lot of time with my friends. She's probably fucking sick of me. That's why she went back to work a week early, probably. Oh yeah, I've got work early.
Leave me alone.
Assistant principals start earlier. But yeah, it was like there's time for that. And now it's like, she's work for her and things are kicking off and, work for me.
And now we've got
there's dates and travel
4 billion events on in the next 6 months.
Yeah.
And awesome.
So it's like you've got to be able to first go, right, well, what are the things that are, like, what do I value in importance of life?
Yeah.
Without this getting fucking all, hoodoo and wishy-washy and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, what do I value so that I'm going to get up every day?
Yeah.
In every aspect.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, well, how do I facilitate each one of these for myself with my daily lifestyle? Which one takes precedence right at this point?
Yeah.
I think that is a really good way of going about things. And you'll achieve a lot more success, in my opinion. Like, tonight's post is literally about balance. It's like how to achieve nothing substantial and spectacular. It's like literally try and achieve balance at every moment.
All of them, yeah.
If you do that, you will never achieve anything great, in my opinion.
In anything.
Absolutely anything.
Yeah.
Because you always like think about it. Like, even just go, like, all these personal trainers, you're going to get this when we relate it back to training. I want to get jacked. I want to get shredded. I want to get strong. You go train 5 days a week. You probably got to do an hour of cardio, walking, steps, fucking hit, whatever the fuck you guys want to talk about in terms of energy expenditure work that's going to be like beneficial to getting shredded. That's going to come at the expense of saying no to, you've got to be very diligent with your diet. So that's going to come at the expense of, like, if you value like your friendships, your social life, maybe hanging out with your partner, work, all of these things, right? Is there anything wrong with that? No.
Yeah.
But if you try to have all of those other things, like have your cake and eat it too, you're not going to look that great.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. Like, it can be done. It's like, maybe.
Yeah.
But only a very few small amount of people could probably make that work.
Yeah.
Go out, see their friends, do whatever they want to do, train, get all of those outcomes, run a successful business. It's like, how many people are actually doing all of that?
Yeah.
It's like,
not many.
Nah, it's like they'll probably just go all in on the bodybuilding thing.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
take
okay,
a heap
cool.
of photos in a heap of different outfits and then post them for the next 6 months.
Take time to grow the business.
Yeah.
Work on your family and maybe do a combination of all of those things at certain points.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm
not a big fan of the balancing. And especially if you haven't fucking achieved anything. Like, it's fucking earned, man. It's not given to you.
Yeah.
And the trade-off of balance or trying to obtain some at a point because you choose to have it is actually not having balance at all. It's working when you don't want to. It's fucking, doing the shit that you have to do regardless of whether you like it or not. And that gives you a platform to go, yeah, cool, I can go and do these things.
Yeah. We've talked about it in terms of energy dials in the past, where it's just like, okay, work dials up means training dials probably turn down a little bit, means family stuff's probably turned down a little bit.
Yeah.
Work comes down because training needs to go up, or like you said, over the holiday period, we deliberately try to give ourselves the most amount of time possible to not be under stress with work so we could focus on relationships and downtime and hobbies and all that kind of shit. Playing 27 holes of golf a week.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you manage your time better and get more effective at actually doing the stuff that you have to do, you won't get burnt out.
Yeah.
Because you don't have that weight bearing down on you on all the shit you should do. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm burnt out. And it's like, you haven't fucking achieved anything. How are you burnt out? Yeah. It's just because you're fucking up in terms of how you're actually spending your time.
You're actually executing things, No,
you're not doing anything. You're just worrying about doing things. So it's like, I could go on forever about it.
So before we keep going, I just want to give you guys a little message about our Standout PT program. So Standout PT has been designed for personal trainers who want to sustain a long-term career in fitness, but right now they're sick of chasing clients, They're not making enough time for money, and they're super frustrated with the results that they're getting in their business, and they can't see themselves being here in 3 to 5 years' time. If you want to know more about the Standout PT program, head to STCfitLearning.com, head to programs, and all the details are there, and you can book in your free exploration call where we can have a look and see whether or not that would actually be a suitable program for where your business is at right now. And back to the episode. So the next pillar we look at is model. So it's actually like, what is your business model?
Yeah.
So we've talked about this quite a bit in terms of like different episodes and how we go about that and what most personal trainers fuck up. And the biggest one is just knowing who you work with and actually speaking to them. So we've had a couple of conversations even in the last week of just like people that are... One thing that like really triggers me, and I don't know why. Maybe I need to speak to someone and figure it out. But like something that really pisses me off is trainers talking about the industry and they don't even have a full book.
Yeah.
They talk about skin in the game. It's like before you start worrying about fucking who else is doing what
Cert
and
3 and 4.
Whether the Stuart McGill big threes are fraud and fucking like before you fuck around with any of that, go and get some fucking clients and go and get some results.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people taking pot shots at industry that have 15 clients.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what's your method? What's your model? Go and execute it and show us.
Yeah, most people who do that don't have anyone to work with.
Yeah.
Because if you actually had clients, you'd just be focused on them.
You'd just be talking about them. Yeah. Yeah. Go and show me that you can get, like, you can solve a hip problem without a clam before you shit on the clam.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard someone say
but you wouldn't
clams are stupid.
But you probably, if you were busy growing your business, fortifying your message, and working with the people that you wanted to, you probably wouldn't even know that someone said that.
Yeah. Look, I don't mind a little bit of like taking a pot shot here and there. Like I don't mind. We did this with such and such without any bands. Like, you know what I mean? Like grew this booty without bands. Like I don't mind that, or like without, like we rehabbed a hip without clams or whatever. Like I don't mind that, but do it first. But don't come out and be like, why are you laying on the floor like doing a clam when you're about to squat 100 kilos? Like, because it helps me get my hips into position. And then I do other activated drills and then I can do it. It's like, and I don't use clams, but I have in the past. I found them quite useful. We did that session with Durham and got on the foam roller and we're like, oh my God, we can fucking sit with our legs crossed since the first time since we were fucking 16. Like,
fitness is a weird place. It's like everything can kind of, there's so many ways to do things that you can probably find a way to shit on something.
Yeah.
You know, and someone has, and you can make a story really sound valid.
Yeah.
Like I could talk about how like having massive calves could make you bench better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really? Just like a piece the puzzle together and sell the narrative and have some confidence and have a big bench. You're okay.
Yeah, yeah. Get the big bench first and get some clients big bench. And you can say whatever the fuck you want. But coming back to the actual model thing. So I'll go through the questions. And we talked about this, I think, on the last episode a little bit. Have mapped out a process from lead inquiry to client onboarding. So have you actually sat down and pretended to be a client?
Yeah.
I land on your Instagram page. I click on your link in bio. I go to your more information part, or I go to your client booking. What happens between when I book and when I get to you? When I get to you, what's the consult like? What happens after the consult? How do I sign up? What's the sign up experience like? How do I get onboarding? How do I find everything? Are there clear instructions? Are there resources? What are the 10 questions I'm going to ask that every fucking client's going to ask? Like, fuck, moving to this app.
Oh, man.
I was talking to my client yesterday.
How painful is it?
I was just like, we just keep finding little holes that, like, shit that we haven't told people. Like, I got one yesterday. It's just like, where are my macros? And I was like, it's a pretty easy thing to find. Yeah. But it just, like, there's no instruction to find it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't there. And I actually hadn't added the nutrition plan, so it was even more confusing because I think she went there and it was blank.
Nothing, yeah.
And I was like, okay, so that's not in the induction thing. I was talking to my client who's a PT as well. I'm like, I feel like I have 35 new clients all onboarding at the same time because it's just like slowly pulling them in.
I'm trying to pull them in waves.
It's just like, fuck, so many questions.
Please be patient because I don't want to do it all at the same time. It's going to be awful.
Yeah, but you need to go through that because we went through it. I went through it. Jace has gone through it multiple times and we still miss shit.
Yeah.
So you've got to actually go through and do that process to get an idea of to what things are. Probably a prior step, so these are in random order. I know who my ideal client is. And that, I think, when people think business model, you expect us to talk about
how do you pay your taxes and how do you separate your finance?
That's a cool
what
voice.
A voice.
I feel like it's like almost Jordan Peterson-esque. I don't know.
Was very.
Maybe I'll do some AI stuff and start mimicking Jordan Peterson. So this is the one that people miss the most. And I think this is probably the one thing that we do the best in Standout PT. And I think even like people that come from lots of other courses, I think this is the part that stands out. It's like, you don't know. Sal. Big Sal. Just like they don't have a clear picture of who they're talking to.
Yeah.
So then they do say like,
speak to everyone, attract to no one.
Clams are shit. Or they put out this generic, like, could have gone in a newsletter for the gym kind of post. Like, there's nothing of substance with anything that they do because it's not directed at a person or an ideal person you want to work with. And then you get in this trap of like, one of the most common questions we get in Standout is like, how do I get better clients? Like, talk to the clients you want. Like, attract them, demand them.
Yeah, every business has a really clear idea of who they're working with. Like, and maybe bigger corporations have like, multiple people that they target, but they have a service specifically for someone, like an individual. Like, I got a mate who works for I'll call it an internet business. And like part of his role is to scour the net to obtain data to go to other businesses who pay for his services.
Yeah.
And he goes, everybody's searching this and this is the demographic.
Yeah, that's sick.
So then they go, cool, let's make a product based off what they're searching and this is the person that we're going to target.
Yeah.
So the ads are for a 35-year-old male interested in fitness, makes $100K a year, drives this car, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom, this loan is for you or this credit card is for you. It's like the likelihood of being connected to that is because they've identified, this is the person that we're going to work with for this product. Or if you're a personal trainer, it's like, who do I get the best results with? Who's the person in the gym that I actually have access to train?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, and is, who's willing to pay for the service that I have?
Yeah.
Let's put that all together. Yeah. There's somebody that comes out of that.
So we actually have like a how to find your niche resource on the website. So stcfitlearning.com/resources to find that. I think it's /niche, but go to resources because I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, and there's other stuff there that you guys can take advantage of too.
Yeah, and it's funny, you go through that whole process, and this is really, really valuable to everything else that we're going to talk about today in terms of what you need for your business to be successful. But the one that stands out is the last thing you said there, like who's willing and able to pay. Yeah. When we hone in the lens on business model and why this is contained in the business model section, not service.
Yeah.
Is because your business model is determined by who you're selling shit to. It's determined why? Because it's determined by profitability.
Yeah, that's how we keep score.
A business is measured by profitability. Yes, outcomes, yes, all of that, but outcomes contribute to profitability. So that's what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah, if you're making no money, it's not that fulfilling.
Correct.
At some point, you got to pay the bills, and that gets really hard.
And like even if like you're the PT that's like, no, I just want to help people. It's like, well, if you were helping a lot of people, you're making a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's like it's based on retention. If you want to be like the high road trainer versus, so high road is like someone who is invested in long-term outcomes and all that kind of stuff. Low road is obviously like 1,200 calorie diets, hit the program, fuck off. Like just there to make money. The high road person pays more, stays on for retention, is a higher value asset, blah, 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 blah. Like you have to have that structure in place before you decide anything. Because if you decide that your ideal client is single mums returning to the gym for the first time and you need to make $100 a week per client to be profitable, that business model is not looking great.
Yeah.
because not all single mums are returning to training for the first time since they were 13, A, value it enough, or B, have the funds to throw $100 a week at a PT. So your business model is actually going to be small groups or something along those boot camps or something along those lines that is going to draw those people in. And then you need to sit back and evaluate, like, okay, well, how does this work? What would I actually have to do on a weekly basis to attract enough people to pay my bills? Does this actually look profitable on paper? And is it a good business model?
Yeah.
Before you worry about anything else.
Yeah.
So the other questions we have in there is like, do you have total control of your cash flow? Which most PTs don't even have separate bank accounts.
Yeah. Or even have some form of like payment system.
Yeah. Cash and direct debit and
just upfront and
transfer and shit. Yeah.
You know, doing the session and then chasing people up for money, like becoming a debt collector.
Yeah.
Bounty hunter.
Yeah, fuck that.
No.
Yeah.
We've all done it.
Guys that are doing, trainers out there that are doing invoicing and shit.
Yeah.
Monthly invoices for PT.
No.
Stop it.
Yeah, no. It's just creating friction that you don't have to in this day and age.
Yeah. It's a wild thing. So total control of your cash flow. When I think of that, I think about like, is your business and personal finances separated? Do you have a budgeting strategy? Do you have a rainy day fund for when it's quiet? Do you have a direct debit system in place?
Pay yourself weekly or
do you have
regularly,
client minimum terms so you can have reliable income? Do you have good terms and conditions in place that someone cancels on you still get paid? One of the other questions, can you take time off and still get paid? That, when I say control of finances, that's what that is.
Yeah. And a lot of people are probably like turning their nose up hearing all that stuff. Like it makes them feel like, oh, they're doing the wrong thing. But it's like, that's putting you in a position to actually be able to show up every day.
And be good at your job.
That's it. And be good at your job.
It's amazing how much you care about your current clients more when you have enough of them.
Yeah. And when everything's just running just smoothly.
Yeah.
It's like you're not working on like who owes you what, and it's like a million different, like this person's got 8 sessions left of their pack, and this person's got, and then you got to ask this person for like $2,000 like in a week's time. Like it's just like everything's smooth. You get paid weekly. The debiting comes out. There's no friction. You can budget properly. That's it. You can budget properly. You know exactly what's going in and out. You know what to, if things aren't lining up and you need to make more, you know exactly what you need to do, and then you go out and get it.
Yeah. So I made the comment at the start of the episode that this could be the podcast that saves your career long term. If you don't have this in place, try buy a house.
Every personal trainer leaves.
Try get a car.
Usually trainers will leave the industry because of money.
Yeah, it's either they're not making enough or they have to go get a real job to do the adult thing.
Yeah, or the bank's like, you don't have a real job because you take cash and you don't make any money and you need to go and get a secure income. So the bank goes, yep, cool, you can pay that loan off.
Yeah.
It's like, you can actually do all of those things.
Yeah.
And run a personal.
And you actually need to think 12 months, 2 years in advance too.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And to add some context to this, like, we bought our first house at 25. I say we. I came up with some of the money, but the bank just looked at Steph.
Yeah.
She was a school teacher working full time. We didn't, we were very fortunate at that time when you look at house prices now. To buy the house that we bought. Yeah. But they just looked at her money. Yeah. I wasn't even considered in the serviceability. And then I went to buy a car 2 years later. There wasn't cash. Yeah. And I remember like saying to the guy, and I was trying to lease it through the business and stuff. Yeah. And I remember saying to the dude, like, I know you've heard the story. It was like, I'll put $20,000 on it if that makes it. And he goes, no, that doesn't make a difference. It doesn't matter how much money you put on the car. The bank doesn't see... so then I had to get a letter from my accountant, and then, this was when we were kind of, moving to changing the business model, and I was coming into the business, and so then I had to start becoming legit, and then it was like the new house, we wouldn't have got it if I wasn't, if I wasn't running a legitimate business, because they would have been like, well, you can't service this loan with Steph only. Yeah, you guys are a joint income and you need to make this much together to service the debt of both houses at the time, because that's what they were going off. Yeah. So we would have missed out on one of the biggest opportunities of our life just because I was fucking around putting fucking money in a shoebox.
Because Dave in the PT room said, "Nah, just take cash, bro.
Just take cash. You'll pay less tax and all that, and I'll miss out on all these like government grants and stuff that we were entitled to because we got, basically shut down for the last 2 years anyway.
Yeah.
Which was really helpful to leverage out of for probably a lot of businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just so many benefits to
to
doing it. Yeah, and it's like a lot of people will just leave because the bank goes, well, you need to make more money. Yeah. Well, you actually need to make a regular income.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to my life where we're both self-employed.
Yeah. And if
it's like call with the broker a year out, like, okay,
yeah,
what needs to happen in the next 12 months for us
100%,
to do this?
100%.
And how do we do it? And what needs to happen?
Yeah, because there's time frames as well. Like if your business is less than 2 years old, like the bank's not going to look at you even if you're making money.
Yep.
Like we don't care. Yep. We need tax returns.
Mm-hmm.
So that they can trust that you'll pay.
We need to see growth, and we need to see
debt and all that, what debt you have, what's going in and out. There's so many things, guys.
Yep.
So don't listen to the dude who tells you to take cash.
Yeah. Even the biggest one for me is for young personal trainers is like the business expense thing. I know we joke about it all the time because your friends are always like, oh, it's business expense, business
just
expense.
write off a $5,000 PC on tax.
Yeah. So let's just like, we do this in the module, but like,
Tim's like, yes.
Have a think about do it. Have a think about what claiming something on tax actually means. So if you are GST registered, you spend that money. That money then comes off profit at the end of the year. And then you pay tax based on profit. So if you made $100,000 and you were able to claim $20,000, you reduced your taxable income by $20,000.
Yeah.
It wasn't free.
Yeah, you still paid it.
You still have to pay tax on, say there's 10% for GST.
Yeah.
And then say you're paying
your income tax.
Most people's going to pay like 20% income tax for the year.
Yeah.
So you saved 30% on the product you bought.
Yeah.
So when you spend $1,000, you still spent $700.
Yeah.
Like the business expense was, you saved $300 on this.
Someone said to me the other day, they're like, just write it off on your tax. And I was like, you have to have the capital.
Yeah.
Like, there's not this like, hey, I have a business.
It's still not written off. There's still 70% of it to fucking pay.
100%. I agree. It's not like I just bought a car for free.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking hell. Anyway. So the other one in the model is like, do you have systems for client acquisition? So when we say systems, it means predictable, on purpose, repeatable, the same thing every single time someone comes through. Client acquisition, client management, budgeting, onboarding, programming, nutrition, lifestyle, resources, and check-ins. If they aren't the same process system for all of your clients, you're killing yourself.
Yeah.
Working extra time and extra effort for no value.
Yeah. And I would argue that 90% of the people, personal trainers, don't actually know how their business works.
I agree.
They just like show up to the gym.
Yeah.
And just train people. And transfer
maybe
money.
Write a program.
Transfer money. And they're just like, that's how we're going to do it for the rest of our days.
Yeah.
And it's not taking shots. It's just no one teaches you how.
Yeah.
You never get taught how.
Yeah. Yes. But it's not your fault, but it's still your responsibility.
Exactly.
Clip it. What's up, guys? Another quick break. I just wanted to jump in and remind you guys about the STCfit Learning Mentorship. Now, our mentorship's been running since about 2016, where we've developed trainers through their first year of business in personal training and allowed them to leapfrog the first 5 years of mistakes that we made. If you're currently studying, looking to finish in the next month or so, or you're looking for someone to help you out with mentoring and all that kind of stuff, jump on, have a look at the details for the mentorship at stcfitlearning.com. Head to programs and mentorship and all the details are there. And you can come and be an STC Fit coach for an entire year. Includes all of our education and direct mentoring from our head coaches. Back to the episode. The next one that we go into is service. So this is sort of what Jace is saying now, like moving into what you actually do on a daily basis with your clients. What do you actually offer?
What's what they get?
What's the product? What are you selling?
What's the client get?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So model is from your end. How does the business look from you?
How's it going to run? How the business going to run?
Service is, what does the client
get?
So my service would still work without me physically being in the gym. Like that one a lot. Because that ties into everything we just spoke about. It's like, is it so systemized that you're just another cog in the wheel? You're not the wheel.
Yeah, whichever most trainers are, they're the service. Yeah. They're the value add.
Yeah. It's the time with you that you're selling. That's the only thing.
Yeah, which you can't remove.
Yeah, which I think last episode, and we've got another one like how to be. I think there's 2 that are similar titles, like go beyond being just a session trainer. We go into this real deep, so if you want to go listen to that, do so. But yeah, you shouldn't be the only reason someone's coaching with you.
Yeah,
you should have a service that totals that, and then the service, for example, does your service, include mindset materials,
mentality materials?
So, yeah, why we've listed these is because these are the things that will be required to get an outcome with a client. And you should have them as resources because you don't want to have to repeat yourself every single time you put on a client or every single time that client has the same question every 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You need resources to be able to defer them to. So your service includes mindset materials, movement assessment, programming, nutritional guidance, and lifestyle management. That is how you stop being come in, train for 30 minutes, sit 45 minutes, and go home, and that's it.
Yeah.
Got to have all those things in place.
Yeah. So that's serving the client.
Yeah.
More than just the 30 minutes you're with them. You're actually serving them at all times they're working with you.
Yeah.
And that's when you move to like this, quote unquote, like membership.
Took the words out of my mouth.
Sharing the same brain today.
So one of the things that our students always kind of, you can see the light come back on behind their eyes. It's like, we sell memberships. We don't sell sessions.
Yeah.
So you get membership to a service, and that service includes all of those things, and a small part of that is face-to-face time with me.
Yeah.
If you can get into that position and you actually feel like that's what you're doing, you probably have a business, not a job.
Yeah, same with online coaching. It's like, people aren't buying your check-in.
Yeah.
So don't sell it like that.
Yeah.
It's a service
not selling features.
Yeah, it's a membership that, facilitates an outcome for a person that you want to work with.
Yeah.
And part of that is you look over their progress and communicate with them.
Yeah. Yeah, little sneaky. We have a workshop coming up with an app developer. We're going to be collabing with Strength Culture.
Ooh.
I won't release any times or dates or any confirmation, but it's coming.
Clear the diary for the next 3 months,
ready.
just in case.
Sometime in February on a Saturday.
Yeah.
But my role of that workshop day is going to be, because what's going to happen, right? I won't say his name. We'll release it all when the app developer is going to come in and he's going to go, this is the app.
Yeah.
And all the trainers
get excited.
that are there are going to be super turned on and be like, oh, this is the best.
Yeah.
And then they're going to go tell all their clients about how they can manipulate weekly variables in their programming and measure their strength metrics as in accordance to their intensity, and they can plot this on a graph, and they can do this and they can do that, and their clients aren't going to give a fuck. So my job on the day is to identify how we can show how this part of the service would solve client problems.
Yeah.
How we, like, one of my favorites thing about the app now is the readiness rate. It's such a nice way of looking at where
those
you're
KPIs.
at every single day. How's your sleep?
Yeah.
How's your mood? How's your recovery? How's your soreness? Like, bang, there it is. Like, cool, you felt like fucking shit on this day.
Yeah, and you trained like shit.
And if I can progressively see that number going down, something's fucking wrong.
Yeah.
If it's up and down, cool, maybe we need to talk about how to get it more consistent. If it's constantly up, fuck yeah, you get more volume. So I think that's really valuable. We need to be able to go to the client and say, like, cool, so you said, like, you go balls to the wall for 3 weeks and then you stop training for 2.
Yeah.
Now
Session RPE is too high. Bring it down.
Correct. And then I'm looking at this data in my head going, cool, I can see 9s. Of course you're fucked.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is manage your lifestyle and recovery and keep track of that over time and make sure you're actually working within what's going to allow you to make progress over 6 months, not 6 weeks.
Yeah.
That solves a client problem. And they're happy with that.
Yeah.
A little bit off topic, but anyway. No, it's not, because the next fucking point is my service has been set up around solving the problems of my ideal client.
Perfect. So rewind a minute and a half and re-listen.
Just do that. It's almost like we talk about this a lot.
Yeah.
And that covers the service. So obviously within the course, we go a little bit deeper into very like the specifics. We talk about what we do, why we do the things that we do, and then other options that you might want to think about based on who you're working with.
Yeah, and I think that's a really important point. Is like develop a service to the people that you work with. Because there's a lot of people that develop services and then their clients, they get frustrated. It's like, oh, my client's not doing this and they're not doing this and they're not doing that. It's like, okay, so you either have really poor, it's set up really poorly so no one knows what to do, or you've created a service for the wrong person.
Yeah.
And if you create a service for the wrong person, it's clunky and there's friction and that, it's just like, how much longer is that person going to sustain that service and trade finances for an outcome?
Yeah.
It's like probably not that long.
Yeah. And that's like, you need to think about that. Like, what's the likelihood your health club Gen Pop client is going to put in their macros every day, track their body weight every day, do measurements once a week? Like, all of these things are probably not going to be done.
Yeah.
So when you're designing a service, we just talked about like our readiness scale. It's like it's on the front page. It's like every time you open your calendar to train. 5
metrics. It's awesome.
Yeah. And then depending on the person that I'm working with, my competitors that are in prep, like, hey, I probably need you to do it as close to every day as you can.
Yeah.
Like, open the app every day.
Yeah, at least every day you train.
Do your body weight and then enter your readiness scale.
Yeah.
The other people who are like, just have lifestyle goals, let's call it.
Yeah.
When you train, fill this out before you train.
Yeah.
Make sure you put your session up here and so I know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the competitor, I need to know how they feel the day after their heavy deadlift day.
Yeah.
Not just before it.
Yeah.
If they have a day off, I still need to know how fucked they
what's
are,
going on.
basically.
Yeah.
So I need that level of detail, and the person who's competing is willing to do it.
Yeah.
The person who's not, what's the point? There's no value in that for them. It's like they want to go to the gym, open the app when they get to the gym, and do the thing.
Agreed.
So it's like, cool, a few times a weigh yourself, put your average nutrition, put your average steps once a week. We're Gucci.
We're done.
Move on with your life. Whereas everyone else is like, the people that, again, with competitors, I've got them syncing MyFitnessPal so that I can see every day. I'm like, your averages look okay, but what the fuck's this? You had 50 grams of protein here. Like, that's going to fuck you up. That level of detail matters to them.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter to most people. And like you were saying, you get frustrated with the behavior of your client because you've built this sexy, awesome, gives you a hard-on service. Your clients don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you're not working with the people that value it.
Yeah. So you either need to change the next part, which is attracting the clients and selling, and get the right people who fit that model, or adjust your service, or do what we do, which is have the ability to swing. Keys in the bowl. Swing the complexity of that whole process based on who you work with.
Yeah.
Like, your bodybuilding clients are going to be even more in depth probably than my powerlifting clients in terms of management.
Yeah.
You need to see photos every week.
Yeah.
And then close-up probably every day.
Every couple of days, yeah.
So that, again, it's like we've got this maximum effort over here, or maximum input.
Yeah.
And then that works down to, I know you've got clients who don't even track and just do their training.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's fine.
Follow the base diet.
It's fine.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Cool. That is service. Next one. We did this question in Standout yesterday, and I was actually fucking impressed with the answers. Put your hand up if you close over 85%.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
So was I.
Yeah. Maybe they lied.
I was
didn't want to be that guy.
Fuck.
It was good.
Like, everyone just go home then.
Yeah. So closing over 85%. So what does that actually really mean? Doesn't just mean you're good at selling.
Yeah.
It means you're getting the right people in front of you.
Yeah.
So gym leads, pretty rare they close at 85 plus.
Yeah.
So if you want 85 plus, probably means you're going to either need to attract people or make the phone calls.
Yeah.
So my metrics are usually 50-50 on gym, 70% on phone calls, 85% plus on direct leads. I'd probably push it to 90, but
yeah,
we're nice to people in the scorecard.
Yeah.
We'll make you feel good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is a reflection of all of that. It's not just like how good are you at telling someone the price and getting them to sign, but also that everything else we've talked about on the way through. Like, have you been through the outreach? What it's like to be a client through outreach, consult, all of that shit. What have you built inside that? I get clients I want when I want. Most personal trainers will say no to that.
Yeah.
Like, they might look like it and just put it up like, I've opened my intake for this month. It's like, yeah, you opened it last month too. And you had 3 spots last month too. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
We know, we can see.
Yeah.
It's okay. I understand the goal of creating urgency.
Yeah.
But we can see that there is no urgency because it's the same thing every month.
Yeah.
Which means, you're not able to open your doors and put on 5 clients and close them again. So that is important as well. Mapped out lead inquiry to sales process. We kind of touched on that already. Yeah. And then have a number of avenues for lead acquisition. And this is where I think a lot of people fall down. So we talk about in our, we call it pre-selling. So it's all the shit you do to get the person to the price presentation.
Yeah.
Or to the consult, really. We talk about 7-11, 4, 7 hours of content, 11 exposures, 4 platforms. It sounds terrifying, and most personal trainers just shit their pants. How do I make 7 hours worth of content? Yeah. It's actually not that hard.
No.
You just have to be consistent with it over a period of time. And that period of time is going to pass anyway, and you'll make sales before you have the full 7 hours.
Yeah.
In the process of making the 7 hours, as you release the YouTube videos, the blogs, the Instagram content, whatever else, the free resources, whatever else you're going to do along that path is going to create sales. And then once you have it, it's just a matter of updating it, tweaking it, seeing what's working, refreshing it, making the scorecard have a 12-page report instead of just ending.
Yeah.
Those little things. www.STCfit Learning /scorecard.
Go to the website. Go to the website. Go to scorecard tab.
There's a big tab that says scorecard. And that's all we have for clients. Anything to add on that?
No, I think if you know who you work with, who you want to attract, and you learn how to speak to them, that you'll have a better idea of, or a better ability to attract the people you want.
Yeah.
And then if you know the process of selling, which is not to sell, to solve problems.
Yeah.
You can solve those problems and show that person. You'll get a full book of clients, and the people that you'll get better clients.
Yeah. So I feel like that sounded really brief for you, a lot of you. Like, oh, okay, I don't close it over 85%. What the fuck do I do? When you do the scorecard, the whole purpose of the report is to give you resources to go learn how to fix it.
And if you don't know how to sell, another resource on the website, Sell Without Selling. I think Consults at Close.
Consults at Close.
Consults at Close, Sell Without Selling. It's the same
That's
shit.
a podcast episode.
Ah, yes. Yep. Well, there you go. So there's 2 more things that you guys can eat up on if you don't, if you're not confident with your sales.
And the links to those are in the report. So you'll get the report, what you did well, what you need to work on, and then links to actually where to go solve all of this stuff. We're gonna save your business. Told you at the start. Fucking told you.
We're gonna make it.
So the last one's be great. So we obviously almost nowadays actually have a separate course that's about just being really fucking good at your job.
Yeah.
Because none of this matters as if you suck.
Yeah.
Was it Nick? What's his last name from UP?
I can't believe I don't know. It's not
Mitchell.
Yeah. Nick Mitchell. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the best things to ever come out of his mouth is you can only sell bullshit once.
Yeah.
So if you're signing people up, so we work on a retention rate of at least, you and I would probably go 50% of longer than 6 months.
Yeah.
If you're a younger trainer, at least 50% after your minimum term. If you're not keeping that many, there's a problem. And that is where it's probably going to be either the service module that we talked about or the actual skill set. Yeah. Your ability to get the client the result.
Yeah.
If they don't feel like they're going to get a result, they're not going to pay you.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. So, we've actually separated this into its own course. So all the technical episodes that we talk about are trying to do this.
Yeah.
So put simply, there's the coaching element. So you're a good communicator and motivator to your clients. So this is like more than a program.
Yeah.
Like, can you actually... It's funny because the ones that are like, I need better clients are the ones that suck at this.
Yeah.
You're not able to communicate in a way of a coach to get them to buy in to do the thing.
Yeah. One of the key roles of trainer, coach is to get them to show up.
Yeah.
Understand what they need to do.
Yeah.
Ask questions if they're unclear on things.
Yeah.
Navigate obstacles. Be on the same page together and be like, this is what we're going to do for the week.
Yeah.
Micromanage their goals. It's not as simple as just providing the structure and then just walking away.
Yeah.
Because they could just get a plan. They could just go
on ChatGPT, ask for a
program. Get a program, get a diet done. It's like, but that's not going to help. 90% of the people.
Yeah, most people already know what to do anyway, enough to get some form of results.
Yeah.
So what's the missing link? Yeah. It's that coaching element. And I know this one is one that fires you up. So we'll try and keep you, because I know the episodes get long, so we'll try and keep you on a short leash, Do you have sound technical skills when it comes to assessing and correcting technique? And I think that is one that too few personal trainers have.
I agree.
I told him to be on a short leash, and he's just like, "Nah, I'm not even starting now." Because you don't. It's funny, like you don't get taught that either.
Yeah, no.
You actually don't get taught how to be a really good trainer. You just get taught how not to hurt people.
Yeah,
and it's not your fault. It's your responsibility to go be beyond that and be better than that.
Yeah. And that's with everything when it comes to working in fitness. Like you get the bare minimum.
Yeah.
But I feel like everywhere you get the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Because people like shit on the cert 3 and 4 and they're just like, oh, it's shit. It's like, I don't really know a certification where someone walks in and goes, I know everything.
Yeah,
and
I'm a killer.
Yeah. And you get experience.
Show me that university degree because I'll go do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just there's a due diligence to know that you have the bare minimum, and then there's a due diligence to make sure that you do everything you can to, better the client experience and the outcomes that you can get with them.
Yep. Where's the squat, bench, deadlift? Is that on Fit? I think it is. So if you would like some technical skill help, if you go to stcfit.com and go to resources on there, there is our total in-depth squat, bench, deadlift course. So all the theory behind it, exercise, execution videos, what to look for, all that kind of stuff is available online, free, to make you better at that. If you're better at that, you'll probably be better at just general movement as well.
Yeah,
it's learning the eye and what to look for,
and
reference lines and shit like that. Good understanding of physiology behind hypertrophy, fat loss, and strength training.
Yeah. So when you say good understanding, it's like just understanding, like, that it's a thing and how it happens.
Yeah.
Just so you can weed out the bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so you don't end up doing dumb shit with your clients.
Yeah, and your clients, they're going to be pressured to do things, by their peers and, what they see online and stuff. And you can go, oh, look, I'm not sure if that wrap around your stomach's going to really do much for your body fat, because we kind of know it's a game of energy balance. And, it's just about what we eat and, and drink and what we move, or how much we move kind of thing. So,
yeah. And I think what we do quite well in there as well is like, and again, these will have links for you guys to go find where we specifically talk about the individual things, but a lot of coaches are unable, I think, to move between strength and hypertrophy well.
Yeah.
I think a lot of coaches are kind of one or the other. They're like the body composition coach or the strength coach.
Yeah.
Obviously there's overlap in them, and there's like some skills like, they like flat dumbbell pressed more, so they got stronger. Like I get it. But there's a different lens to look through when you're specifically targeting a strength outcome versus a hypertrophy outcome versus a fat loss outcome, and understanding the physiology and how those things occur allow you to be much better at that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so your priority is strength and fat loss. Cool. Numbers are the thing that you want. This is how we train for numbers.
Yeah.
And the calorie deficit's a calorie deficit. But even within that, it's like, my personal opinion is you can drive way harder on the calorie deficit training a physique-focused program versus a strength-focused program to still be able to get results.
Yeah.
Because it's like the risk of injury goes up and all that kind of stuff, which is naturally reduced by a more physique-orientated program.
Yeah. In
my opinion. So understanding all those things and being able to be nimble and change within those, I think is really important.
Definitely.
So, I can give you guys an insight that if you score anywhere above 65% in our scorecard, you're probably above average.
Yep.
That would be the average score I see come through. Typically, we see B grades, like fucking everyone's 100%. Yeah. But the rest of it sucks. Mindset, whether it's accurate or not, everyone will score themselves really highly, and then maybe in the console it becomes a little bit of a you can see the holes in it. But usually the people we work with are technically quite sound.
Yeah.
And even if they're not, they're on top of it.
Yeah, they're trying to get better.
Watching the right stuff, they're doing the right things to get better at it, but they just don't know where the fuck to look
or how to
for
apply
the other stuff.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, like you might have heard shit today and gone, fuck, I never thought about being able to get a mortgage in 4 years' time. Or I never thought, like, who my client actually is, who's even coming to this. It's just the gym people. It's like, it's not. It's more than that. Or I've never really thought about how much I blame external circumstances, like the fact that my manager doesn't give me leads when I need them.
Yeah, it's on you, man.
Yeah, so it's like, if you're in that boat, STCfitLearning.com, hit the scorecard tab, take the scorecard, you'll get sent a 12-page report, and then you'll also probably hear from us if you need any extra support, help, resources, free shit. I'm not going to sell you anything straight away. We will, eventually, maybe. But we'll give you heaps and heaps of free shit too. I honestly believe if you go through the scorecard, read the report, and follow through with the resources, 99% of trainers out there would 2x their business.
Yeah.
Within 3 to 6 months.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Do the scorecard.
So we'll close on that. Take a screenshot of this episode, give it a like, give it a 5-star review, give it a subscribe wherever the fuck you are, do the things, tag us on the interwebs and get this out, help more people.
That's it, I think.
Yeah. See you next week.
All right. See you guys.